going to get this third game going after that 70-minute bonanza. Interestingly enough, Omar was spamming the level 30 voice line for Razor, and it says, "I drink your milkshake."
Yes, and then Mallory said, go 10 hours game, European smiley face.
What does "I drink your milkshake" mean?
I don't know, maybe he's like the swirliness of his body? I don't know.
That is the most obscure voice line I've ever seen. I imagine it's linked to the Arcana, because Arcanas like get like different voice lines, right? Is that like kind of the deal, or am I tripping?
Maybe.
I think I'm
not a Razor enjoyer.
I don't know. I feel like that's been something for other cosmetics, is they have like slightly different voice lines. I will say the cosmetic looks nice, looks based, looks cool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Wraith Kings is like, I have all the sexy or something like that.
That
which
is
just
that is
so
goated.
stupid.
That is absolutely goated. And it's also the platinum voice line.
All right, calm down.
Don't get it wrong, mate.
Actually.
Actually. I can't even remember what the Grandmaster Tier 1 is. It's something about like kneeling down, the peasants kneeling down in front of him, or being one of his subjects or some shit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All that I know is I now have all the sexy.
Let me have a look. Oh, it's just guys. That's all it is.
Really? That's alright. That's kind of sad.
Yeah. Master tier is welcome to all my new subjects. Now let's get to know each other.
Yeah. Okay.
Boring. Cool. Some people have the best, like, Wyvern's best voice line is a silver tier one. It's just chill, baby. It's so good. Yeah. Just incredibly tilting. They go for a super deep dive on you, you get away, or you still die, but like 4 of them die for it. It's just chill, baby. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's very exciting. So that voice line must be an Arcana one. Because
that's very exciting.
Because I checked, and it's a different level 30 voice line. Like that, "I drink your milkshake" is not a part of like regular Razor.
Oh.
So
that's cool.
Maybe it's like an Amar specific one. I don't know, man. I'm just still confused by
Bring back the player specific sets, by the way. I love those. The No Tell
BZZ
Nepo,
Pugna.
the Arteezy, Naga Siren, those were great. BZZ Pugna, yeah.
The Dendi also had one that was the Quap, the Dendi Quap. From what I remember, it was very, very nice. So, yeah, bring it back. Get some collaborations going. Could you imagine any of these
what are some
players being able
iconic
to
ones?
design
Like,
sets?
if you had to give people one hero to be able to link it together with, that regardless of patch, regardless of how meta it is, they're still going to play it.
I would say, like, Crit playing either Dark Willow or Hoodwink would be one super iconic one. I think he would be linked with one of those 2 heroes.
Yeah. I would say Amar's Razor is probably the one for me. Like, he's not a hero right now in this current meta, and, well, you can clearly see they're playing it in a KL qualifier match.
Yeah, and he's the only player that plays it. So we'll see what it's going to look like in this game. We're going to see what the rest of the lanes are getting up to. Malrin is doing a really, really good job in that mid lane. 11 and 6 so far, up against the 6 and 3 of Noob. Bottom side of the map, though, Malik doing axe things. 8 and 2 up against the 7 and 2 of Skidder. So everyone seems to be on their comfort heroes today, and just kind of chilling. I mean, a 70-minute game really does either force you to be super agitated or very chill in your next game. So I'd imagine this game number 3 is going to be the right kind of vibes.
I'm still going to need a few more iconic hero player pairings.
Okay.
I'm interested to see.
Whisper Timbersaw.
Yes, that's a good one.
Is one. I'm just trying to think of like one from like every region that I can think of.
Well, for C, I would say Yopaj Ember or Savage Morphling.
Yep, I think they're 2 good ones. What about
Picard's PA is pretty up there as well.
Yeah. What about Toronto, Tokyo, and Undying? I mean, I know it's a very new combination.
It's too new, I think. It needs to be over multiple years, I think.
Puppy and Chen.
Yes, okay. That's
a big one.
Chen or Ranch, one of the 2.
Yeah. Nothing to say, Tinker.
Yes, that's definitely there.
Quinn Pangolier.
In 2023, I
Yep.
don't know about that.
That's
Or
my
Quinlish.
favourite.
That's another one.
Yep. Samael Storm is another big one. I'm just like thinking of like every time Nahas would like be like, oh my god, X player hero, whenever it got picked, and it was like
What is Nahas
Samael.
doing these days anyway?
That is a good question. It's a Samael Storm and
Snake?
Miracle Invoker. Snake goes down.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I thought if they were going to go for that dive, there would be at least 1 point in the Berserker's Call, but even underneath the tower with the 2 points in the Battle Hunger, enough to take him down.
Yeah, I guess with the extra bonus damage coming in from Omar with like the Shadow Realm and the Brambles, I think, you know, the extra bit of chip damage that the Battle Hunger does do against a Pugner is kind of important for this lane. What about you? Well, like, can you think of any more?
I mean, I've given you a few, but let me have a think.
Alright.
For NA, I mean, Quinn isn't really NA anymore is the thing, right? He's probably the most iconic, and you can't say Abed Storm Spirit because he's now playing on Blacklist. They've already qualified to KL as well. So, what are really the NA iconic ones? Moo Witch Doctor? I don't know.
Probably Fear playing one of his heroes, like Lycan? Fear Lycan is probably a big one. I remember that was
Saberlight Lycan was pretty good.
Yeah, that's true, but
I guess
Saberlight
RT
is
is already
definitely
good
not
start,
North
yeah.
American. Yeah?
I mean, he plays in the region.
Yeah, but
Bulba Magnus,
plays
sure.
in the region or comes from the region. Two different things. I don't know. What about some more support heroes?
What about from the MENA region? What heroes are we? What players are we thinking from that?
Well, I mean,
Noob
you're
Pango or
looking
Noob
at a
Snap
couple.
are kind of up there.
Yeah. I would say Noob Snap just because like we've probably given Quinn Pango. And I would say Omar Rubik is another one. Like, I mean, like if you're giving
FY
Rubik to
Rubik
someone.
as well.
Yeah, but, yeah. It looks like there is a
Nice stun,
gank
by
for
the way,
us to
from
talk
Elring.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the Centaur Conqueror Stomp was going to be enough from Kaori, but it wasn't.
It was not indeed. Looks like he's going to have
So-
Crit babysitting him for the next little bit.
Oh, you could also do the Weepo. That's a big one.
Oh, big wraparound though.
Yeah, they're going for a second attempt at this one, but Crit is here. Nice little
damage.
charge forward. He's able to connect onto both those supports. It's a lot of damage that goes forward. Marine, the damage. Raindrop. He's been able to save from that Shadow Realm, and now Omar is going to pay the price with it. They will come back in once again with a lot of damage coming in from Noob. He isn't able to convert on the kills, and everybody is on these blinking health bars, and Noob gets caught out. Is he
low on
slim enough?
HP and
No, he
mana.
isn't. Needs to go to Jenny Craig, but it's the Swashbuckle that does the damage back onto the members of Team Falcon.
Only Aussies would get that reference, but it's completely understandable as well. Around the 7-minute rune timing as well. No supports ready to be able to pick it up immediately. Alreen just quickly wanting to get the last little bit of dregs of experience from that lane. He's got the Echo Slam available now, though.
Yeah, so this is where it starts getting spooky if they want to try and make that rotation once again. Noob has picked up that level 6 as well, but he's taking a stack and hasn't gotten the level in the Rolling Thunder. Snay? Ooh. I was like, you're going to be a spicy little boy. Gets D-Ward, so that's pretty hype. What's top lane been happening? There
I've
is
just
a
been farming.
lot of damage going in towards TA 2000, but he at least gets TP away, so he's okay. He's sad, but he's okay.
They'll be able to get a nice little Centaur Conqueror as well. And this is what we want to see, right? We want to see Amar playing on these great scaling heroes. He's currently second on net worth. You're setting him up with a really solid start, just going into the double Wraith Band. He ended up turning around a 2-man gank onto him into a kill going back the other way. Just relying on individual skill, right? Whereas, you know, utility heroes, you can have all of the ability to outplay as much as you can, but if there isn't the damage there to be able to follow it up, then it doesn't result in anything. It just means you're delayed death.
Exactly, and I think they're slowly getting to the point where Team Falcon are kind of understanding that Amar is against Quest. They're kind of win condition a lot of the time, so they're leaning more in towards that and starting to pay dividends for them. And I mean, this is the time for it to all start to click, right, in the grand final for the
Yeah, for
qualification
sure.
spot, going over to ESL One KL.
I mean, I think if you can get something like Malrine on his puck, they've been really wise on Quest and Bandit out twice now in a row in this sort of situation, where you can both fulfill that playmaking role as well as a damage role. Like, he is just so good on the puck that, you kind of get the best of both worlds. Malik kind of doing what we were expecting, playing behind the tower. A lot of the damage being done onto this tier 1 down bot is a result of just the creeps being able to do that, as we see a full charge across the entire map from Crit. They want to see if they can get some reinforcements in to be able to punish the Axe, but he's got his boys playing behind him. He's at full HP, he's got the Vanguard, and he's got a Healing Lotus to play around with.
Yeah, I think they got a small glimpse of the TP in from Malrine that they just were able to signal the retreat there, because it did look like they wanted to get a little bit aggressive with the supports hanging around this tier 1 tower.
They saw
So
Crit
Malik
charging
doesn't
across
bite
mid
the
as
dust.
well, right? The Observer load placed down by Omar, so even just that is enough to be able to force people to back off. Every time when you're playing against a Spirit Breaker, it's always just one more ward mid, no matter where it is.
Just get that river vision. So again, starting to slow down in this game. Both teams are just trying to get those early set of items going their way, trying to find some of these power runes, trying to find this early fight. Malrine, again, gets away just for now. The power rune is going to be bottom. It is going to be a regen rune. The noob really would like this. He swashels over the Fisher. Swashels?
I love
Would that be
swashling.
the... Would that be the...
Swashbuckles.
Swashbuckles just sounds weird to me now.
Well, so do swashels. So
Yeah, that's true enough. Yeah.
Alright, 3-man smoke coming up towards the top side. Not quite yet. Level 6 on the support, so Omar might just be lacking a tiny bit of damage to be able to take out some of these heroes. Crit already with the phase boots, so he should be able to get out of dodge a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to try and take down Omar. He's got 1300 HP. Do they have the damage here? Omar's going to go in. They're going to be able to break the static link, so he doesn't get all that auto attack damage. Noob, though, wants to go back in. Do the damage onto the Razor, but they boop him down to the low ground. So Omar is able to get away from that, so they will not have the Rolling Thunder for another 70 seconds.
Tactically done by Omar. Amar. Just popping the Eye of the Storm as well, just to make sure that he was going to be able to survive, and they're actually going to be the ones to get the kill onto Noob. Missed Berserker's call and runs into an Echo.
Yeah, they have a little bit of extra damage. Crit wants to go back in now with the Nether Strike, but it was the counter Helix that's able to claim the kill onto the Spirit Breaker. Malik is very, very low here on the Axe, and Skidder wants to try and claim something back in onto this Axe. Blade Mail goes down. They don't get the Berserker's call. Beautiful fissure there once again from Malrine. And they are just claiming kills left, right, and center in this mid lane.
And they're going to use any bit of time that there's just no one playing around this mid lane, snaking. Getting a few of those Nether Blasts in onto the tier 1 tower. We were mentioning before, like, that is, it feels like his role in this team, right? Play that position 5 that's pretty strong in the lane, that's able to make these rotations count. And in terms of, like, again, game effectiveness, not all that much, but he just needs to be the one that opens up the map by taking these towers.
Yeah, and I think he kind of is doing the same thing he did on his Enchantress, right? Just being a nuisance and taking towers early. It's what you were saying, right? There's a very similar role that he's had across a lot of these games so far, and trying to find their identity. They are still a very brand new team, our Team Falcons, so slowly finding their identity when it comes to playing these games of Dota.
I mean, there we go. He almost single-handedly just takes the top tower on his own on the little green man. Lucked out as well to be able to get the Arcane Ring, so is able to go straight into the Tranquil Boots, always be very high on the old HP front, and I mean, that signals to me that soon-ish, he wants to be pairing together with Amar to be able to make a lot of these plays, right? Of course, Amar, it's a great BKB game to have to go up against. It means that you're not really caring at all about the Rolling Thunder. It means you don't care at all about the Muerta, about the Dark Willow, to a lesser extent the Enchantress. It's really only Axe that's able to stop you in your tracks, and I mean, you still need to be perfect, essentially, with the positioning of that Berserker's call.
Yep. And even then, Amar's still able to get off the static link, which is going to be a lot of damage as he's going to be able to return to members of your own team. Dagger early pick up here from Malrine. He's had a very good start to this game so far. He's not the craziest when it comes to the net worth, but impactful net worth, I think, is the best way to put it now with the Blink Dagger available.
For sure. Going to try and get a pick off here onto TA2000. Maybe just feeling like they've got the rhythm of where exactly he wants to be playing and farming. He's playing back and forth. He's a bit indecisive about where exactly he has the safety to be able to farm. Looks like he makes the right choice by moving down from the tier 2 tower, even just using the scan up on the high ground. Trying to play a bit of guessies, but guessing wrong.
Yep, tier 2000 just avoids the gank for now. We'll wait for this crit wave to crash in towards his tier 2 tower, and then he will claim that up. So Malrin isn't able to claim a freebie with the freshly picked up Blink Dagger. Everyone will continue to farm. How close are we to this Diffusal Blade? Alright, only a couple hundred gold away here for Noob on the Pangolier, so that's going to be a big positive for them to have that Diffusal Blade as well as the Orb of Corrosion. Just kind of ups their damage a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. There's that extra swashbuckle slash range as well, so obviously more people are going to be clipped by that that Diffusal. Prevent them from being able to take these extended fights.
It was a small attempt on Amar's life in the top lane. Blink Echo, see you later. Kaori gets assassinated by Marlon.
Take him out. Quick smart. Still having the Wisdom Rune actually up on the Falcon side. Amar, if he looks down, excuse me, if he looks down a little bit, he'll be able to secure it for himself. Don't think it's the worst option. You know, he's the one that you're wanting to be rallying around for this next little bit, right? And if he's able to get that BKB and level 12 timing at a similar sort of rate, that's going to be a big amp up in terms of his effectiveness in a lot of these team fights.
He's very far ahead when it comes to the experience, right? The only one that is really kind of comparable is Malik himself, who's getting close to his own level 12. Now has Blink Blade Mail Vanguard on the way. I believe he had his courier coming out to him.
They need to immediately make a play. They're going to be able to do it. Again, it's with Noob. With the Diffusal Blade freshly picked up, he ends up having to break it, though, to be able to clear out that siege creep. So, not going to be able to join in with the rest of the boys. Maybe they might even be saying, hey, Tier 2000, I know you still feel like you need a farm, but we need you here. We need that extra little bit of damage to be able to convert onto this. Maybe he's going to be the bait.
Yeah, it looks like they may be trying to bait towards the mid lane, right? Seeing if there's going to be any answers towards this tier 1 tower. It's only going to be Crit who's going to walk through and charge. Get the kills on those creeps, so... the extended duration of the smoke... timing.
Yeah, not doing all that much. Snaking, I mean, it might just have to be a bit of a wheel-do sort of situation.
Yeah. Thought maybe they were going to find Amar, but he was just out of vision
the
for
storm
now.
there, though, is pretty... It feels pretty nice.
Yeah, that's true. 60 seconds until that's able to be able to come back online. They don't have that extra catch without the axe to be able to catch out the Razor, who is very, very quick on his feet. So, or quick on his milkshake, whatever it's called. So, they miss out on the big kill onto Amar, but they at least get the kill there onto Snaking, who is just happily farming in that top lane.
I'm happy they changed Storm Surge, man. It used to be the most boring skill in the entire game. It was literally just get more movement speed, but now they effectively gave him his old shard inbuilt into it as well. And some people might think, wait a minute, that's busted. But the way that they countered it is they took away the level 20 talent that just gave an insane amount of movement speed that effectively had you at max speed at all stages of the game.
Well, you didn't like the Mercedes E-Class S3, whatever it was?
Not in Dota. In real life, yes. Oh, he's got the specialist array as well for the Razor. You'd love to see it.
Well, you also love to see Blink Axe Cord be able to go down here onto Snaking. Malik finds him out because the second Culling Blade stack, so the Axe is starting to ball a little bit here. Noob goes up onto the high ground, doesn't find out Malrin, so the Earthshaker will be able to blink away from that Pangolier.
They're just needing a little bit more regen right now on Falcons, and it feels like that's the call. Like both Amar and Melrine both walking all the way back to base just to make sure that they can get their full resources back. They can pick up the tier 2 token if they still need it, and then they immediately make a move out. Look at that, going for the Grove Bow as well on the Earthshaker. Wanting that little bit of extra spell damage coming through.
Yeah, just be able to come in, get the click, get the Echo Slam, does a lot of damage, might be able to convert kills onto some of these tankier heroes. Malik
There we
gets
go.
Echo
That's a tanky
slammed.
one.
They have the Spectre as well. They don't want to try and get caught out by the Berserker's call, but they get away from him. Spectre is going to kind of precisely done there. So Midases are galore for both of these two supports on the side of Falcons as well as Quest, but more importantly, almost Radiance now on Skidder. Doesn't like going the urn, but loves going this Blade Mail Radiance build.
It clearly works for them. I mean, they're saying, you know what, we're going to give a little bit more of this space making, again, onto the back of Melreen. He finally isn't Grandmaster with a hero, only Platinum tier. What an absolute noob. But, well, looks like they might be able to get away from Noob, who is coming in to try and get a quick kill attempt onto Snake King. Poor Snake, like, he's doing his best to try and shove out these lanes, but it's just got revolving in him getting killed one too many times.
Yeah, Noob's just going to follow him here. It's going to get the Rolling Thunder. We'll be able to cancel out on the Zuck. And they get themselves another dunk as well for Malik. So, lost his life, gets another dunk. So that's kind of happy days here for the Axe. How much armor has he? Cold. It's only 4 armor. It's kind of crazy that 3 sacks give 4 armor.
It'll
I'm
level up,
not
though,
a math whiz.
once he puts more points into it, though. Amar. He has to be a little careful. Doesn't have the BKB, doesn't even have the Eye of the Storm available, and no Pugna either to be able to act as that zucking life force coming through. And more important
as the
thing with no
milkshake
Pugna
provider.
is that they have no way to be able to take a lot of these towers, right? Snake King, again, single-handedly took that top tower as they get a double
what
call.
a blink call. They've caught them trying to park out on the petrol servo. And Malik, it gets the double kill, double dunk as well. Beautiful to see. That was instantaneous from Malik, and now we are seeing Quest finally starting to get this ball rolling and really starting to open up the map for TA2000 to continue to hit creeps.
Yep. Just standing a little bit too close there. No need for it. And you know, I'm sure it's a hard lesson to have to learn, but it's one that they won't forget for sure.
Yep. I mean, to be fair, you're probably not expecting it, to be perfectly honest, but you know, sometimes you get caught holding hands with a homie in a lane and you get dunked instead.
Hashtag kiss a homie, yep.
Would you like to come to the mid lane and hold hands and kiss? I think that's
Calm
what the
down,
line
sheep.
was. Yeah, I didn't want to butcher Sheep's line, but I think that's what the quote was. I'm sorry, it's real cooked hours, guys.
It is actually. But, you know, at least the birds haven't started singing yet. Soon, but not yet.
I know it's starting to get very early in the morning here in Australia because I'm getting very hot in front of the lights and inside of my room, so...
Yeah.
So I'm like, the sun is starting to round around the corner and it will start to beam directly into my forehead.
They're not doing Roshan, are they? No, sure not. Yeah,
I mean, they have a little bit of minus armor, but surely they just don't have the tank ability with only 1 level in Untouchable.
Melreen, he's looking for a high priority target in TA2000, making the full wraparound happen. Love to be able to get an Echo Slam onto these two. Smoke pops.
He's pretty tanky, but I don't think he's tanky enough. That is just an instant evaporation of TA2000.
They ping out the fact that there was a TP used by Noob and it actually got cancelled at the very end there, so do they have any idea that Noob is farming behind this tier 1 mid? I don't think they do. So at least they don't have that full amount of information to know that he isn't still going to turn up to the next team fight, but as soon as he reveals on the lane, they'll know that they can probably make a play around this bottom side if they really want to. That's the big reason why Snake King is feeling confident enough to be able to go forward and just land a few of these Nether Blasts, right? If there's no Muerta, if there's no Pango, that's a lot of the damage that isn't quite there anymore. Malik, of course, still dangerous, and him plus the Dark Willow is going to be able to deal a lot, but not quite enough to be able to fully dissuade.
Yeah, you're probably feeling pretty comfortable to never blast the tower as long as you're not stuck inside of a creep wave, right? I think that's the big thing for Snake King.
Not the biggest right clicker is the old Pugnut, so don't end up killing yourself on the Blade Mail or the Counter Helix.
Well, either way, that gank was successful on the TA2000. Kind of tanky on the Muerta, but isn't enough for Echo Slam plus a Spectre. He has the Radiance, has the Usher. Now is only 2,000 gold away from completing up the Manta, but it looks like Quest, they want to try and group up they've got an Aghanim Scepter completed now on the noob as well, so it's a lot of gold that just floats around on these heroes, and now they're going to try Roche?
Pops to pierce the veil.
Okay.
Avoids all of that armor on Roshan. Just rips at a new one.
And I guess with the Pangolier, you know, you'll be able to get those disarms, so it does mean that you can actually tank this quite a lot easier.
Gives Crest more time as well to be able to make a lot of these plays around the map, allows them to get a little bit more value out of the Midas that Kaori has. He's starting to begin and scaling into his own right. Mid lane though, Malik.
He's been caught out. He's doing a lot of damage, and Skitter will be able to just fall himself away, shadow step into the safety of the river. And a beautiful Fisher once again comes in there from Maurin, and they will be able to secure a second. So Danog, it looked like so far that we were staring down the barrel of Quest being able to pull this game back, but it seems like Team Falcon definitely have other ideas for it. They have 6,000 gold ahead, and it just seems like they're constantly steamrolling up this hill of net worth.
Both BKB usages there as well by Amar. Very solid, right? He uses it at the very last second, not needing it to be able to get the kill onto the Axe. They know that Roshan was just claimed, so if there were mass TPs towards the mid lane, they're probably going to be a little bit slower, and only waits to pop it until the Terrorize is a potential factor there. So 7 seconds left on it still. Level 17 on the Razor, just 25 minutes in. Amar's having a great game.
Yeah. And he hasn't had to do kind of anything flashy, right? Like, he's just kind of been happily farming away on the Razor. He's been playing in aggressive spots. He's been getting a lot of extra info, but he hasn't had to really kind of overplay his hand. And I think it is kind of one of the positives of having a player who's so comfortable in a hero like Razor is he can just kind of sit back and farm, and then he's just going to become a third core, especially with the game that Malrin's having so far. He hasn't been able to ball out of control, but it's having a good enough game to be able to be kept inside of the core circle.
And it's getting to this point where, you know, Crit scaling too. He's level 15. He's got the Bulldoze minus 3 second cooldown on him as well, so even more effective in a lot of these fights. He's already got an Octarine finished up as well for this Spirit Breaker, really feeling like, you know what, a BKB isn't going to be able to do all that much for him this game. Rather prioritize just dealing the maximum amount of damage, roaming around the map. I mean, the lockdown that they have is, the only reliable lockdown they have is Malik, right? Sure, you've got Noob, but until he's got that Blink Dagger, he's only 500 gold away. It makes it a little bit more challenging as well. Speaking of Noob, he'll probably get a free kill?
Ooh,
maybe not.
Skitter. They come in for the Shadow Step. Malik is here on the corner, but with that Radiance Burner, it's hard for him to try and blink in. Amar, he's going to come in, gets Blink caught now with the Blade Mail as well. TA2000 comes in off the Pierce the Veil. The Fear is enough, and that's a beautiful Nether Strike comes in there from Crit. They haven't been able to secure the kill just yet. They lose out on Noob as well as Omar. And Quest thought that was going to be some free snipes for them, but they were in the right place at the right time. We're Team Falcon.
How the hell was Amar able to get away from that one? I mean, pops
No
the BKB,
idea.
sure, down to 6 seconds, but yeah, just the jukes around the trees, playing around at nighttime. That was the difference.
Yeah. He just had that extra bit of life, and unfortunately for TA2000, just wasn't there to be able to deal the damage in time. Maybe if it was just a few steps behind Malik, that could have been a different fight, but also Crit did a really good job with the Nether Strike, just to be able to buy the time for Amar to get away. He's very, very speedy on the Razor, so as soon as he gets a small amount of distance, he will continue to increase that size.
That's all you need. Looks like Satanic next for him, maybe into the Refresher after that point, just to give him another full duration of that BKB. Another Eye of the Storm, another Satanic. Fine.
Yeah, and then it's very hard for them to deal with him. They are trying to at least deal with Crit here on the bottom side. Bulldoze doing a lot, but the damage is there from Kaori to clean up onto the Spirit Breaker. So it's a bit of gold, you know, going the way for the side of Quest, but they need to try and get some more high-value targets out of that, right? Like, yeah, it's all fine and dandy being able to kill Crit as well as snaking, but you need to kill Amar. You need to start killing Skitter, because over these last couple of games that I've seen Skitter play this Spectre, he's just been left to his own devices and kind of just comes in at the mid-game and turns this game on its head.
Most of the time, I would say, you know, the fact that the Spirit Breaker's dead gives you a lot more freedom to actually play out on the lanes. But, I mean, the time that TA2000 died, it was all on the back of Malrine just going for that single smoke, being able to find the pick-off, and, of course, having Skitter join in with the Shadow Step available. But looks like they're still feeling confident enough without the Spirit Breaker to be able to at least get some value out of this this Aegis that they claim. That's a Tier 2 tower that they've been able to destroy. Looks like they'll be able to get one of their own, though, on the Falcons side. Oh, they fortify just a little bit too late, so doesn't actually get the full defense there.
Yeah, I feel like people have done that quite a lot. Not recently, but definitely has been some small mistakes. Aegis gets reclaimed, so Roshan will be able to respawn once again in a few minutes' time. Ooh, Quest.
He's getting chased down right now, but again, who's going to stop him? You know, he's got the Elven Tunic as well to be able to play around with more attack speed, more evasion, more movement speed just with that Elven Tunic. He's just zooming around on basically 500 movement speed.
Yeah, pretty close to it. So it's hard for them to catch this Razor, hard for them to kind of lock him down as long as Malik doesn't get that blink initiation. They're looking for more of these heroes snaking.
Because of the Spec Illusion. Looks like they should be able to catch at least Snay.
If they don't get the dunk though, which is a little unfortunate for Malik, it was a little bit too early. They get the extra kill there on the crit as well, thanks to Noob as well as TA2000. They want the Echo, they go directly in, and that is a Muerta no longer. She is dead and Kaori TP's away, so there's no other way of them stopping that TP, so that will just mean that they only lose TA2000.
Case run on Amar, but he's already... Well, he actually hasn't used the BKB. Has used the Eye of the Storm though, so probably not going to be able to claim any sort of kill.
He does have the Zuck on the pool. That's a good way of describing the shard on Razor.
Yeah, closing the gap.
Yep.
Walking the dog.
Walking the dog.
The choke
Heel
chain.
maneuver.
Yeah.
Dire are scanning.
Haven't seen it used just yet, but to be fair, don't really pay that much attention to Razors in a team fight, even if it is Amar. Well, it's 30 minutes in. Still a lot of towers left available for both these two teams to claim.
Oof, that was close. I wonder what's going on here. Maybe just not wanting to reveal the purchase. I hope he doesn't sell it. I'm talking about the Midas recipe that Omar's just sent back on the courier to his base, so maybe just still wanting to keep them guessing on Falcons.
Yeah. Try and wait until he gets the glove as well. So
I'm sure he's saying to Noob, like, come on, bro, you don't need that little bit of extra gold, but you know, if I just get my Midas, it's gonna pay me back super quickly. So you know, just let me get my next little bit. 150 gold. It's not that much.
Yeah, come on, mate. It's just a glove. Let me get the glove. You can have whatever you'd like, Noob.
That's what they say. No glove, no love.
Yep. It's only a Noob question. I don't know. There was something there, and I fumbled it.
I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. Man, Crit's nearly got his own BKB as well. Man is scaling like a beast.
It really does feel like that both these two teams are just happy to play extremely slow, right? Like they are just sitting back, farming on every single hero. And when they're drafting like this, where you've got a Spectre, you've got a Razor, you've got an Earthshaker, you've got like a Spirit Breaker, you're happy for this game to go late. I mean, yes, Quest do have a Muerta on their side, but everybody else, I guess they have some really good scaling heroes in the Dark Willow and the Enchantress as well, so it's not that bad.
Especially now that he's got that Midas finished on Omar. Well, I mean, it's efficiency, right? You got to look at it through a different lens, right? If you were a maths mage, you'd be like, oh man, I'm having the greatest time right now.
Oh my god, the numbers. They're so good. They are very efficient. So, what's the next break point then, I guess is the question. Who's going to be waiting on what to start these fights. It looks like they are starting to get aggressive for Quest.
They know that they're playing around that area, but no boys with them just yet. TA2000 is eventually going to be able to TP in with that extra 20% gunslinger chance. So all of Quest underneath the smoke right now. I'm sure they're going to be very careful about going up into the area where they just got dewatered, though.
Yep.
Neither team actually knows that Roshan isn't quite yet available.
He's getting close. 30 seconds away. Malik. They're just hoping to see that somebody will reveal something, but yeah, they saw the dead shot.
No harm in taking the Lotuses as well. If they already know that you're in the general area. Harry just revealing for a split second there, going for the Moon Shard because of course he is.
Yep.
Also just playing with the Wild Wing Ripper, not the worst as well if you're able to hold on to it on the edge. Just another element of pushback for the Razor if 4-staff isn't enough to be able to break the static link.
True. Also a little bit of extra armor from the aura. Nice.
So, 30 seconds away from moving up towards the top side, and it doesn't look like Falcons want to be able to give this one up. Melrine's pinging it out now, and he's saying, look, they can't take it in 30 seconds. We'd much rather just get our positioning right, get some wards down, get some control over this area, and make sure that we're able to play around this top side of the map.
Yeah, and this is a smoke coming in from Quest.
The second one needs to pay off for him, but they're going to smoke right back in return. Snaking again, just priority is put down as much vision as possible. Might even just place a sentry ward in the tree line, but never mind, he's just on smoke breaking duty.
Yep, and he does break the smoke indeed. Now Crit's going to come in with the BKB, goes in onto Malik, he's oh so low, into the backside goes Skidder. But with TA2000, doesn't have the BKB, but he turns back around now with Pierce the Veil. How much healing can he get done here on the Muerto? I don't think it's going to be enough. It's the Blade Mail that turns around, deals the damage. Malik, he gets stunned. He can't dunk on the Spectre. And the Spectre turns around with the Basher and says, thank you for that. They will lose only one, but it is 5 that they get in return.
And he drank that milkshake for sure, just constantly following the Pangolier around in the team fight. There's nothing that they can do. There's not enough 4 staffs to be able to do it. There's not enough, like, an open field is exactly where a Razor wants to be playing, right? There's no way for you to be just juked over some cliff line. There's no way to be able to break it in that way, so you have to run around. He was just following around the entire time, even just with that 6 seconds on the BKB from Amar. So very nicely done there. He's actually going into the pipe next, just wanting that little bit of extra safety against, I guess, the Muerta for the very start.
Yeah, you can just see that I think they are lacking in the damage department right now for Quest. They were not able to convert onto the kills straight away, especially with Skidder being able to get directly on top of TA2000, drops the Abyssal Blade on top of him as well. Yes, you do pop Pierce the Veil as well as BKB, but you just don't have the lifesteal. Like, you don't have a Satanic or anything like that to be able to get yourself back up the full. Maybe that was a different conversation if they had the Satanic, but it's all about just trying to fight on this like 20% HP, which is never going to work out for the Muerta. And it was.
I'm also liking some of the other itemizations on Falcons as well, right? Like, you're going up against a Muerta, Pierce the Veil, BKB get popped. There's very little that's going to be able to stop her doing stuff, but you've already got a Spirit Breaker who can just charge on through for the Greater Bash guarantee. Nether Strike, another way to be able to have that BKB piercing stun, and you've got an Abyssal Blade on Skidder as well, so you really do limit the amount of that, full-on raid boss 6-7 seconds that a Muerta has, and even if you can cut that down by half, it feels so significant.
Yeah, especially because you still generally have to try and take like a second or two to get the positioning right for the Muerta. So, as you said, every second counts with Pierce the Veil, and the longer that you are spent stunned, the worse it does feel. Omar has been found out by Skidder, and eventually he's just going to burn down to the Radiance.
Not with the double Midas charge available. No.
Ooh, that's probably, yeah. Talk about a massive Midas. Alec, he's been found. He's getting zucked. Double zucked. Nice little dead shot there from TA2000, but they're going to get the Nether Strike. We'll go back in directly onto the Axe.
Oh, the
now they're just charging forward. He wants to go deep inside of the base. Does Amar. Beautiful fissure block off as well. So Quest, they won't lose any more life, but they don't get anything out of that dive.
Yeah, Falcons should be able to get at least one, maybe two towers as well as a result of this. Maybe they want to open up that Tormentor just so that they've got the ability to give the Aghanim shard over to either the Spectre or the Earthshaker, two pretty good shards to get at this stage of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it really does feel like another one of those instances where TA2000 is like, nah, just one more item, guys. Now just one more. And like, he needs the Silver Edge, but he needs the Aghanim shard as well before he truly feels comfortable to be able to take a lot of these team fights.
And then even then, he's probably going to need another damage item on top of that. So we'll have to see when this Muerta is able to really to deal her damage. But looking at the net worth, Matt, this is dire straits. It's 21k at 38 minutes, so it's not the end of the world, but it's just where the net worth is being distributed. Crit is now third highest on the net worth once again on this Spirit Breaker. And almost all the cores were above even TA2000 for the side of Quest, so they are definitely behind the 8 ball. This game does need to slow down and go later if they want to try and get this dub here and try and be up in the series once again, but it is looking like that Team Falcons are in the driver's seat at least.
Kaori just standing up on the high ground with his Moon Shard as well, so that little bit of extra bonus night vision serving him well. Also sees the fact that the Wind Waker is now complete, coming out to crit Spirit Breaker, so things just become even more challenging now. You know, you pop that Pierce the Veil, you pop everything. If for whatever reason you're not in perfect position to be able to get off that that disruption that I was talking about, right, whether it be the Spirit Breaker or the Spectre, you at least can throw someone up into the air if you're in a more defensive position. So it comes down to literally team fights, a matter of split seconds, that maybe if TA2000 is able to stand and right-click during a Berserker's call, maybe they win the fight. But if that doesn't happen, it feels like all Falcons.
Yeah, and that's kind of the dire straits that they're in, right? It really does feel like it needs to be a very specific set of circumstances for Quest to be able to win these fights. Oh boy. You just give that to Amari and you just walk up onto the high ground, right? He's got a Skadi completed now too.
Can just give it to Skitter though, why not?
Yeah, true. I mean, it's
Charge
a
going
free
up
assassination attempt.
No, it's just onto Creep Wave, never mind.
Kaori. Four staff over the cliff. He has just picked up this Moon Shard, but unfortunately for Kaori, I think he's just going to die nonetheless. Skitter goes back and around, and still enough damage for Crit to be able to claim another kill on a Quest member.
Feels like they're so heavily on the back foot. Even like having a look over at the net worth graphs, right? You see, was he going to charge through TA2000 here?
He almost got towards him, but the Echo Slam is enough there to be able to catch out Malik. TA2000 got muled into the air, so he has to slide away. And they at least get their axe out of dodge for now, so they won't lose Malik, but it was a decent amount that got committed there by Team Falcon. So what, that was Aegis being reclaimed, BKB, yeah, so... And Echo Slam as well, so... Not really much they got out of that for Team Falcon.
They're going to be able to remove this high ground vision as well, though. They're just completely blind right now on Quest, even during the daytime. This is not what you want. You know, you needed this time with the Aegis freshly expiring, with your Enchantress coming up in 10 seconds to finally be able to push out onto the map and get something happening in your favor. You can see the Silver Edge is complete. So if everything lines up, you have the potential to be able to wipe out even Skitter on his Spectre, but it just feels like they're not going to get the opportunity to do so. You know, the Lincoln Spear as well, it's just... It's another necessary item, but it's another item that I don't think they have the freedom to wait for. They got to try and just hope things work out in their favor.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right, is they would like to wait for some more of these items, but I just don't think they have the time available to them. Oh.
Alright, more scaling, that's
again.
Good. I guess that is the thing, right? They haven't lost any tier 3 towers, so maybe I'm just panicking a little bit too much. Maybe they can afford to wait. Double Midas, you've got a Muerta that as long as you're not dying without buyback and enabling them to push up onto your high ground, you do actually feel confident in going into these later stages. You know, I think in an ideal world, you wait for this Lincolns to come out, you wait for another Tormentor to be available, and you just claim the last one that's available for your team.
Yep, and then you get the Pierce the Veil extra bit of spell amp. A little bit of that spell amplification and spell lifesteal as well is always nice. You can just get that extra juice. Feels like a satanic with the amount of damage that you can do from TA2000. So, yeah, maybe you might be right. Maybe they do have time. We'll have to wait and see. They are still very clumped. Is Quest, right? You can see that there's a lot of pressure being put on them right now to make sure that they're not getting picked off randomly by a Spirit Breaker. They are staying as kind of this like 4-man crew to at least help out as much as they can.
I'm trying to think of like clever things maybe that Quest could do to be able to bring themselves back into this, right? Like, can you make any sort of big plays happen with Parting Shot, the Muerta Aghanim Scepter, right? Like you Parting Shot the axe, he blinks in, he calls the illusion or whatever you want to call it, like comes back to the real body and drags someone with them and allows them to isolate. I don't know. I'm trying to think outside the box here. I know you can do it with Storm Spirit. You know, you Parting Shot the Storm, you use all of his mana to like zip really aggressively, provide a ton of vision, as well as you know, do some damage off the back of the ball lightning, and then you just haven't actually spent any mana because it's only the clone or the spirit
like fake mana
that did everything. Yeah,
and it's like fake news, but mana.
Well, backline jump. They would love Snay.
Yeah, they do get him here, and look at the damage. That was quick from Kaori. That was a quick and clean death.
The big difference here is that they're not actually having to contend with super creeps pushing into their base. You know, at this point in the last game, they were down 2 lanes of Rax. This time around, they've actually got the ability to correct the lanes themselves, both from just a Pango Swashbuckle, you can Mjolnir onto a creep wave as well, and, you know, just let the creeps do the work.
Yeah. Just let it be the same nature of things. Crit. Found out by an axe call of Malik, but they just don't have the extra damage from either Noob or TA2000. So he will walk it off.
All damage barrier as well. Very fun.
What, like, why? Like, honestly, why?
When I saw it, I'm like, he doesn't have block of cheese, does he? Like, just something ridiculous like that. If there was any series that we would see block of cheese, it's one of these, like, 75-minute games that we're going to get out of this one with teams that just love going to the late game.
Well, there was one, it was Chrysalis yesterday, I think, in the Secret Series. They had, like, an 80-minute game, and he had a block of cheese on a Bloodseeker.
Gary's getting charged here. Roshan's up. It's Roshan number 3.
Ooh, this is the fight. Oh, that charge almost connects onto both Malik and Kaori. But the Enchantress is able to heal back up, thanks to the impetus. Oh, the Echo Slam goes into the background, hits on her 3 members, and they're looking to try and kill more of these cores. But they assassinate Kaori instead. A beautiful charge once again comes in from Crit, and Omar goes down, so does Noob. So 3 people for the side of Quest just bite the dust quicker than you can say boo.
Boo. But again, it came down to a matter of split seconds, right? If it was a little bit different with the axe being able to get the call, you don't get that huge Echo Slam. You don't get the follow-up coming through from Crit that's able to get to the backline. You don't get this Roshan. You don't get a Refresher. Now, I was talking about the potential of Amar going for a Refresher Orb, but if you can get a Refresher Shard for free, why not?
Yep. Just grab the freebies. They're going to be ready and waiting for you. Going to give the Shard to Amar, it seems. Yep. You are correct. For that extra BKB. Thought maybe Malrine was going to be able to deserve the shard off that Echo Slam, but it's not
Double
to be.
Echo, just bang bang.
Yep.
Doesn't even need to switch his bottle in to be able to get the mana back. He's got Snaking there, and they're going for another jump here. They're trying to force out some buybacks. Great!
Oh, that's a nice jump that comes in there from Malik, but I don't think they have the damage. TA2000 doesn't want to pop Pierce the Veil.
They have been so patient.
Utilizing the BKB.
We've got the Haunt available now as well.
Yeah, they can just start sieging with Skitter on the front lines. He has the Aegis, the Immortal. They've got Amar on the sidelines as well, who's 4.5k HP on a Razor. Like, how do you get through this HP bar? Don't know if they can even do it. They're going to try. Malik up in the air, but it was a Yule Scepter as well.
Wind Waker from Crit.
That's a Wind Waker from Crit, so that was a nice little start. The Aegis.
Look at what Ench is doing, though.
Be reclaimed. It's okay. So Kaori does the damage. Out of mana now, though.
Yeah, he needs that
so
mana to get all of this happening.
Yeah, won't have the certain amount of mana to be able to utilize this. TA2000 is in the background. He's been caught out. He does have the damage. The Abyssal Blade goes down, but do they have it? Yes, they do. Amar was able to find it through the pierced veil. It does not matter. Crit in the backline is just causing chaos for Quest, and Malik's going to go down as well. This could be a quick one here. Well, quick one relative to the 70 minutes that we've been having across the entirety of this series. So it is a big start for the side of team.
He's gone for the Beyond God like Amar.
Falcons.
He's got 9 kills so far.
He wants
Maybe
the 10th.
gone a little bit too far,
He's going
though.
to be as so lucky. Yep, he's gone a little bit too close towards the fountain, but with one lane of racks already being claimed here, Quest,
So many
they're in a
creeps
very
hitting the
familiar
bottom tower
position.
as well. Ooh, try and protect from the siege creeps. Looks like they'll be able to get the job done.
Yeah, he's just dead. And that's no buyback either for the Axe, and Malik will have to just sit and spawn and wait for another 115 seconds.
I really feel like that
Probably
team
gonna
fight
be
turns
mega
out completely
creeps.
differently if you just had the Aghanim shard on the Muerta, right? And it comes down to a little bit of luck with the Tormentor, you know, not going to the Muerta until, well, what would have been the very last option, but also just a little bit of his own item choices as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of that unfortunate set of circumstances where it really does feel like that Moita is definitely one of those carries that is, I need an extra item. So we'll have to see if teams will still continue to try and rely on her and not put as much emphasis into her lane. But either way, the tier 4 towers are starting to fall here for Quest. They are
Mallory's
starting
just
to
on the front
defend,
lines.
though. And as
Using
you
a lot of
said,
his just strong, beefy right clicks with that enchant totem to be able to get the work done. Again, no axe. He's such a big part of the control. The Rolling Thunder needs to be perfect by Noob if they're going to be able to close this one out. But, of course, classic Tundra / Falcons Dota. Just back up and farm some more. Why not? 47k, it's not enough.
Yep, we need more. More. Give me more. Make sure that we don't throw this game. Feels pretty unthrowable at this point. 99% to 1. Win probability, so.
That is a number 2 net worth Spirit Breaker, by the way. Please ban it in the next game.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
or get first pick and pick it yourself.
Crit is farming out of control. The guy is entering sicko mode.
Oh, I think he's been there for a while.
He has 413 last hits as opposed to 4.
You just charge through a creep wave and it one hits. And, you know, it's gotten to the point where you know the angles and the exact times to be able to, like, okay, if I charge from point A to point B on the map, I'll go through 4 neutral camps and 2 creep waves and get, like, 1,000 gold. GG. And all the while my Midas is recharging.
Yeah. He is definitely a overtuned hero. I think he's got too much.
We could say
too many
broken.
different scenarios. Yeah, I definitely. I think like legitimately broken is like things that have like no counters. I think is a good way of saying broken, or they play through the counters, right? Whereas I think Spirit Breaker can be neutered, but what,
He can be
he's
weakened.
been doing.
I don't think he
Yeah.
can be neutered. That's the issue for mine. Like the previous thing was you just played quicker, so you didn't come online, you didn't get to this strong point. But now it's a level 9 timing. What are you supposed to do against that? Everyone's hitting level 9 in every game.
Yeah, true.
Here we go, full on rotation. Noob doesn't have the boots of travel either, so it's not like it's really easy for him to just join in with the rest of his team. It's just that he is literally the only person that can clear out all these creeps hitting into the base. He
Yep.
just gives them no options.
Dire are scanning.
We've got an Ags up on Omar now as well. So the we saw the impetus damage from Kaori, and Omar's able to add his own kind of impetus with the Shadow Realm.
So at least TO2000 has the shard. He's got his level 25 as well, so some nice passive magic resistance might mean that he doesn't get blown up as quickly by Melrine.
Mm-hmm. This is always
But
nice.
again, it just feels like they can never leave the base. It's completely up to Falcons, like when they decide to end this game. They're just going to wait out the next Roshan. Why not, right? Just make it an absolute certainty. With it
Yep.
respawning maybe bottom? No, it's going to go top. I was thinking maybe you just get like an Aghanim Scepter onto Amara as well, and I mean, hitting 2 different targets, you just hit the Ancient as well.
Yep. Seems everything is starting to come up Falcons here, and they're in prime position to be able to move this towards a an extra
Shard
game.
for the Shaker.
The illustrious 4th. Yeah, okay. So he's got the aftershocks as he needs them. Another refresher as well on the Skidder. So double Haunt, double Shadow Step, double BKB, double Abyssal. So a minute until Roche potentially could respawn. And it is just all fine.
Again, they just can't leave the base. They can't leave the base on Quest. Like they can't get out. It feels so horrible to be in this sort of situation. You just feel helpless and you're waiting for Falcons to potentially throw. That's literally the only option that you have. Like, even Malik got like a Berserker's Call literally next to the fountain, and Razor still, you know, it doesn't last long enough for him to be dragged inside of it. He has the Heaven's Halberd, so a little bit of that status resistance. It's going to be reduced duration. He's tanky enough, of course, nearly 5,000 HP now as well for Amar's Razor. And it just, it feels like a little bit too much.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they have enough to kill Amar. Let alone Amar plus Skidder plus crit plus
snaking
Shaker.
healing him at the same time with a pipe activated. Like, it's so much.
It's just too much damage and mitigation to be able to get through. So we are just waiting for Roche.
What even can they get now? Like, and who do they even go on? I'm just having a look at the buyback status, and is it everyone that has it on Falcons? It seems like it. They're just making this game throw-proof. They know how much it means. They want to be that first representative of their region.
That's true. Yeah, they do have all buybacks at the ready. Still missing some for the side of Quest, but with Roche coming up in 18 seconds, so it's going to be a nice quick one.
I hope Snaking is on Lotus duty. Look, he's got the minor healing Lotuses locked, and I want to see him build up more and more. I need to see that block of cheese.
Well, there's a full Lotus pool here on the Radiant side, so he's going to be looking at that.
Give me the cheese, come on.
How many of the healing Lotuses do you need to turn into the big one?
I think you need 2 graders, so that's like 18, maybe?
Okay, well, he's close. He's got 10.
Maybe it's 3. I don't know.
Sounds like a lot.
Oh,
there's a fight. It broke out. Malik catches out onto Amara. They've got the damage, man.
Start.
Yeah. We said that we questioned whether or not they had the damage to kill Amar, and they definitely do. That was because we were all too busy looking at the healing Lotuses, so I'd imagine Snaking was probably doing the same, but Malik gets caught out anyways by Skidder. That's 100 seconds without no axe, and now they're going to continue to move forward. He has the Horn. That will be the Abyssal Blade to go down on a Kaori. He has no TP to get away from this Spectre, and eventually he will get burnt down.
His buyback's up 2 and 15.
Is again just so much damage that goes the way of Quest. They just can't hold on.
I mean, the creeps nearly just took the Ancient while that was happening as well. Like, they have such small windows for them to be making any sort of plays happen. They're going to need to buy back immediately on Kaori. Maybe Amara's gone a little bit too deep, but the Pierce of Ale is being popped into a BKB. Not all that effective.
Yeah, it's just no damage, and look at it now from Skidder. They go back in, they deal the damage, they set their attention onto the Ancient, and the GG gets called anyways, so Quest will concede in this third map here, and Team Falcons, they will move themselves ever closer to being able to qualify.